Hello everyone, welcome back to the TJOmega channel for day 1036 of our daily content grind. Before we begin here, I do want to just point out one thing really quick. Yes, my birthday is in a few days. And I point that out because I know there's some very nice people out there who try to get me stuff when my birthday's coming up. Please don't try to surprise me. 99 times out of 100, you're going to get me something they already have, and I feel terrible when someone gets me something that I've already got. I don't want you to spend money trying to surprise me. So, please don't. I have a throne, just like a link of looks like a list of like things, like a wish list of things that I don't have. If anyone wants to be generous, you can use that, but just please don't try to surprise, okay? I don't want you, just a general advisory, okay? But I do appreciate it. Thank you. Hopefully the birthday goes well. Now, today, I was gathering material for an upcoming video, doing my research, my due diligence as some kind of self-created Transformer expert, but then I realized that TFcon Toronto happened. So this is one of the rare opportunities in the year I get to actually talk about third-party Transformer because I like going through the slides and seeing what's coming up. So TFW2005.com just posted up all of the slides for this year's reveal panel. So I thought, let's give them a look, shall we? And we'll figure out what is actually worth grabbing in the realm of third parties. There's usually something that interests me these days. You know that my stance is loosened up as far as third party stuff goes. We're going to start off with Mecca Invasion, another company. I will say, this is literally the only time I ever look into third party is when one of these panels happens. So I'm not really up on who these companies are or what else they've done. So keep that in mind. And I was very unimpressed when I saw, oh, it's a Constructicon. More Constructicons, yay. That said, when I first saw this, I just kind of looked at it and went, okay, sure, Bone Crusher, yeah, whatever. And I'm just so sick of third-party Constructicons at this point. It's absurd how many we have, and they get audible laughs when a company reveals a brand new one at a TFcon at this point. It's just ridiculous how many there are. And then I saw this one. And like I was literally like scrolling through the slides at just taking a quick glance at what was coming up. And I had to, like, my brain had to go, wait, hold everything. Back that up. Why was Mixmaster curved? That's not Bone Crusher. That's Scrapper. That's the leg as an arm. That's Mixmaster, a leg that's supposed to be an arm. What is going on here? Don't tell me someone did something original. Do not tell me someone did something new with a Constructicon. Now, they do look good. They do look good. It's like a mellow lime green, so it's not like super vibrant as far as Devastators go. It's much more in a realistic work tone, which is not a bad call. Like, yeah, and they look good, like all around. Like they don't have any like nothing that's like too obviously, oh, that's a robot kind of sticking out of him anywhere. So all that looks really nice. You see, like the okay, yeah. So like, and then they all work the way you would expect the construction vehicles to work. So give them that. Yeah, they look good. They look good considering we've had so many of these at this point. Let's see. We're gonna get to the robot modes. So the robot modes do start invoking a little bit of a new aesthetic to them. Mixmaster not looking quite his usual. He doesn't have the hood overhang thing that's normally as part of his robot mode. A little bit of difference in the legs too, since you can see the side wheels of the vehicle rather than just being just like straight on, just like the top of the cab section. Doesn't look bad. I might mistake him for a completely new Constructicon, honestly, if I look at him quickly. Decently posable. He looks fine in that regard. Like all that. Okay, yeah, that's decently posable. Calm down, Mixmaster. Cool it. It's a Saturday afternoon. Don't need this right now. He's looking fine, though. He's looking fine. I like how he turned out. And then there's Scrapper, who is a completely different beast. This is very different. Scrapper is supposed to have his bucket just like hanging off the back of him. And then the Mad Lads here just went and made the bucket his legs. That's not normal. That's not Scrapper. What happened here? This is where I also notice how stylized these are compared to your standard Constructicons. They are going for a different aesthetic and look for some of these characters. It's a weird call. It's a really weird call. I almost thought for a second that they might have Scramble City'd these guys and actually made the arms and legs interchangeable, which would be a new direction for Constructicons to go. I wish they would do that. As far as I can tell, this is just Bizarro Land Constructicons that are inverted, because they didn't show them in leg mode. And again, the robot modes look fine. Great range of articulation. This explains why the bucket works so well in vehicle mode. It's using his hips and knees to work. You know, and that big wide foot base means he got plenty of stability. I mean, it's for something that is like ridiculously overdone, at least it's doing something different. Okay, and I will give them all the credit in the world. This took me by surprise. I have not looked in. I don't know if they've revealed other Constructicons in this set. They didn't show off like a full like Devastator or even a silhouette of what a full Devastator is going to look like. So I have no idea if they've shown off anything else. You know, if we get to see, you know, like Bone Crusher and Scavenger's legs at some point. As far as I know, it's the first I've seen of this particular team, but I'm legitimately curious how they're trying to deliver this one. Something else to notice about, hang on, we're gonna go right back. Something else you might notice about the arm modes. They're integrated. They're not just using like the big purple forearms. Like they work more like, you know, like modern Scramble City or like Combiner Wars toys did. So again, something a little bit different. Okay, good. That might be a Constructicon set I might actually pay attention to. All right, Mechanical Skull Studio, the ones who really like Kojima, if you can't tell from the logo. We only had this. We had just all we had is just this little bit of info page. 11+ centimeter robot mode, head height, and about 9 centimeter in vehicle mode, so pretty decently sized. Where else is, well, no, that's pretty small. That's pretty small. I'm an American. Give me a minute on metric. Some good old bulky 90s designs can be modified in a more dynamic way. Thus, the tank would be our first attempt at doing so. Moreover, not just hanging around with the first ones, giving some love to the second ones. The A series is proceeding accordingly. Sirius's wingman are on the line, and the next design to go alongside the squadron should be an armored vehicle as well, presumably. And then they show off this silhouette. So they're doing a G2 Megatron. And you know what? If they're doing a proper G2 Megatron where the tank is the front of the vehicle and they're trying to modernize and improve upon the original, that would actually be pretty cool. I can already tell from the silhouette, the way they have managed to engineer this toy, the front end of the tank is way narrower than your standard G2 Megatron, which that already does catch a little bit of intrigue from me. Don't know if this is going to be one that I'm going to be pulling for, but we will see. I do like a good G2 Megatron, and it's something that Hasbro has not delivered. A good G2 Megatron. They just repaint normal ones. So I'm curious. I am curious how that one turns out. New Age. Okay, pocket scale. I know New Age is pocket scale. Showing off, I believe this would be the last of their Dinobots, I believe, with, Snarl. Snarl looks fine. Okay, so Snarl kind of takes after a lot of his G1 styling, where the legs are extremely large at below the knee. And then the proportions on him, the more like this pose here, there's something about the proportions on the toy that just feel weird. Like either his arms are too scrawny, the chest is just too flat, it should be like buffer. Like, I don't know. Like, there's just something about the overall like proportions on the robot that don't really hit it for me. I'm not sure why. And then of course the beast mode looks fine. That looks like a pretty good Stegosaurus. No argument there. Like I won't debate that one. It comes with a flame accessory. Nice detail. I can also see that the tail has some element of curving to it in that form. Look at that. Look at the turn. Look at the tail turning. That's interesting. I like that it can rear up enough to actually aim the tail spikes. That's a cool detail. Like seeing that. I really wonder how good it looks in the back though, considering the way that they've taken this photo obfuscates how the rear legs look. Just pointing that out. But no, it looks good overall. It looks good overall. I'm sure it's going to look great when you got the full set all together in person. Just proportionally, I think it looks a little bit off. But that's just me, probably. Alright, Fans Toys, what do you got for us? Why are you going to throw a Blitzwing at me? Why are you going to throw a Blitzwing at me? Why are they palling around with Galvatron? Let's see. Yeah, Fans Toys, who I know is a solid producer, they're doing a Blitzwing. Looking at the Blitzwing, they did modify quite a bit. I can see much more flat panels on the underside of the jet. I also see that some of the shapes around the cockpit and around like the actual like portion, the front portion of the jet seems a little bit different than how I see Blitzwings normally handled. I mean, it doesn't look bad, and then the tank mode looks fine. It does pretty much what a Blitzwing should do, which is hide as much of the purple as possible. Yeah, you can't really do much with the jet that's still sticking out. That's accurate to the animation models, so that's pretty much just going to be a standard thing on a Blitzwing. The coloring is like maybe a little bit too like maybe a little bit too yellow. Like a pale tan color is more like the Blitzwing's shade. This one's coming off maybe a little like a butterscotch coating on him. I'm not sure what it is. It's just not quite hitting me. Robot mode does look fine. Again, I could use a little bit more vibrancy in the colors. The head especially should be a little bit brighter in the yellow. Might just be a lighting thing though. It looks clean. I'll give it that. Like, he looks like Blitzwing. Yeah, it seems decently articulated. So I just got the Star Toy Blitzwing. So I think that's just going to be my Blitzwing, my Masterpiece Blitzwing toy, which is a good figure, albeit with a couple of flaws. But I don't know if the flaws are big enough for me to go, I need to buy a whole other $200 Blitzwing. He looks good, though. He looks good for what he is. I do like the optional way of hiding the. Oh my god! Okay, I glanced at this first, and all I thought was, oh, it retracts at different levels. No, I can switch it so his. You can collapse the barrel all the way into the tank turret. That's fine, but then you can also add a tiny little turret to the back of his head. Which I guess is a little bit more... I don't know. I don't know. It's a funny solution. Oh, that makes me laugh at least. Oh, they showed off Marauder too, which is their Menasor, which is a very clean Menasor. I will give them credit. I do like one shot here, which, okay, yeah, it's fine. That's Menasor. We know that. This. I like that you can actually reverse the legs and actually show the combiners. You can actually show off Wild Rider and Dead End below. Breakdown, sorry. Because if you look here, it's not just that they spin around and the knee joint still works. It's actually completely different orientation. Here, they're connected at the bottom of the car. Here, they're connected at the top of the car. That's kind of cool. That's kind of fascinating to how they make that work. And then it apparently does not interfere at all in the knees or the ankles. So great on them. They actually got that one pretty well done. And I do like it. Just if you want to show off the more like the combiner element, you don't like that sunbow. It's a big robot with cars stuck to him look. You have an option, which is a pretty cool thing for them to do. And yeah, it just looks like a decently articulated. Now, I do really like what Hasbro did with their last run at Menasor, so not one that I would be going after, but nice of them to think of it. Also, yeah, the chest piece turning into a car of its own. That's a good touch. So it has a little bit of accessory play to it. Lots of expressions. I don't really think of Menasor as a very expressive combiner, so not kind of surprised how many different looks they got here. Different helmet shapes too. That's a lot of display option you're going to get out of that set. And then yeah, I forget that I forget their solution on Motormaster is just here is a whole other trailer. So you have a Motormaster, you have a big Motormaster that transforms like the original trailer and all, and then you just have another trailer with a whole bunch more parts. It's a funny solution. At least it works. Looks good at least. Okay, Fans Hobby. See, what do you have for us? Oh, right. These are usually available afterwards on TF Source after the con. I might cave on this. Clench should not work well as an Armada Optimus retool, but it kind of does. It kind of does work well. I really like Clench. I really kind of want this thing. Yeah, I'm kind of a sucker for this. I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of a sucker for this. I wish the trailer did a little bit more than just open up and hold his cannon. I know the original trailer just unfolded into a big weapon platform, but I don't know. He could have done a little bit more with it, I think. Oh, well. It's mostly accessory anyway. At least it makes for a nice turret. But yeah, I really like this one. I really like Clutch here. This one I want. This one I want a lot. Fingers crossed. I mean, it'll show up somewhere. I don't know if I want to pay the aftermarket, but hopefully the extras, if there are extra, they end up at the TF Source. I know sometimes they sell out at the event, which sucks when they do that, because this would be really nice to get a hold of. I don't have the Pyro. I'm not big on Pyro. Like, I really like the design and colors on Clench. Pyro's just kind of there. I don't really need a Pyro in my life, I think. They are also doing another set of minicons, and this is the shield set, the Skyboom shield. And they look good. They look good. Like, in vehicle mode, they just kind of look like the original minicons. Just a few details changed up here and there. Robot modes obviously have a lot more articulation than the original ones. The former downshift looking kind of weird in the robot mode arms, but it's a minicon. I will give you that. They also showed off this. So the final version is going to come with a cover that will actually be able to cover up the minicons and make a cartoon accurate shield. My question to you is, why bother? Like, legitimately, why bother? I understand you want this, like, it's impossible to make it show accurate because it shape shifted into a shield in the cartoon. I understand not including that. But at the point where you're just basically including a second shield with this set, I would just almost like 3D print a handle onto the shield, the shell shield, and just use that. And then just keep the minicons separate and just play with them as is. I mean, it's a funny, it's not a bad idea. It's just like, it feels like the execution of it's kind of funny. I feel like I'm buying two shields, which, if that cover has a handle, great. I got two shields now. They showed off the prototype of Tidal Wave as well. I like that he comes with some extra minicons too. Like, you got Ramjet, but you get a second one thrown in there too. I can't quite tell what it's supposed to be. Little small from here. Just kind of looks like a generic G1 Seeker. Yeah, and then he is accurate to the size of the original Armada toys. So he is quite big, but he is still just kind of there the way Megatron is. Knowing third party and how they like to show off, I'm sure this one does everything the original toy did, including forming the super ship without part forming like the Titan has to. Yeah, I still can't tell what that second jet is. They are very tiny on the screen. And this... This right here, I think this alone, this shot, kind of tells me I'm very happy, very, very happy that that Legacy Tidal Wave is not a commander, because this is how it looks. This is ugly. This is just way, way too clunky. This doesn't look like Megatron can move anymore. It doesn't look like a power-up. It doesn't look like a power-up. It just kind of it looks like an accident. It looks like an accident. I don't know. Just seeing it, it's just way too bulky. It's just way too bulky on such a small figure. This is why I don't want Titan Tidal Wave. This is why I wanted him to be a Titan. This is why I think I like Hasbro's solution better. This just ain't pretty. There's an alternate combined mode that spreads it out a little bit more. I'm still not a fan. I'm still not a fan. I think this still comes up kind of messy. Ah, well, I'm sure people will love it and call it the greatest Tidal Wave and say so much better, because that's what third party does. And yeah, you get another configuration. Okay. Fine. Fair. So, okay, if you're upset over the whole Tidal Wave thing, there you go. There's an alternate version. You're free to have it. It's just not for me, though. All right, Mastermind, another company I actually am somewhat familiar with. Let's see what you and your penguin logo has to do for this year. Okay, fair enough. Reformatted series Supermax, so we are getting a refresh of their Fortress Maximus in IDW style, which has always been a fascinating redesign to me, because obviously he's not a fortress. He had to be small enough to interact with other Transformers, so he is this big rolling, he's just big rolling armor tank thing. It doesn't look bad. Like I will admit, I don't remember the original one. I don't remember looking at the original one long enough to go like, oh, I can see what all's changed here. I will just say he looks nice. And I do like this big rolling, weapon platform kind of vehicle mode. That's kind of cool. But no, I do like IDW Fort Max. I don't know if I'd be going after this. Nice that it's available, at least. Nice that there's another one coming out. Perfection series from Ocular Max. It's still a very presumptuous title. It does deliver sometimes, though. So that's just a really, really good looking groove. Not going to lie about that. That's pretty spot on. Articulation looks good. Vehicle mode. Yeah, that's an old school police bike. Still funny to see it in scale with a car. That's never not going to be weird looking. It's just not. They do get around the whole, because of the way this one works, the whole idea for them is fully all built-in combiner, no additional parts. The way they're getting those legs is it's an extension of Hotspot. So this gets around a lot of the shortcomings that would come with having a motorcycle as a leg, where he doesn't really have anything that can be hidden he doesn't have space to hide a fist in his engineering. So this is just a way of circumventing that, which is not a bad idea. That does mean they have to figure out how to get a fist out of a helicopter. I'm looking forward to seeing how Blades turns out. Okay, and then yeah, they've got the Baldigus, or Baldigus, however you want to pronounce it. Yeah, basically they're Greejeeper. That's coming out too. That's not bad. It's nice to see that they're actually doing a third-party Ruination. That's something that I think is... I think that's kind of like an untapped territory. I don't remember. I'm sure a third party's done Ruination out of a Bruticus. That's a very obvious thing to do. I can't remember one offhand, though, so it's a good direction to go in. Oh, hey, they're doing one, too. Oh my god, I am so sick of third-party Devastators. I'm so sick of it. It's all built in, though. It's an all built-in combiner. Okay, fine. You still got 100 of these. Okay, we'll see how all that shakes out. That's one I feel like I feel like something like that I have to see in video to really get how much went into making that work. I don't feel like just seeing pictures of it's really gonna convey it. I think that says Ocular Max Remix. That's a work on your fonts. That's very poorly broken up. That's very hard to read. Ooh, these guys. Okay. So this is just a redo of some of their like full-size cassettes. So it's Rumble and Frenzy, but it is done as like full-size tapes, which is a cool idea that I'm surprised no one hit on before these. This is just toy accurate versions, if I recall correctly. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so they got the silver eyes, they've got different details to replicate stickers. Yeah, it's not a bad idea of getting them all out again. I missed the first round of these. I've always wanted one, and I made the mistake of picking up the shattered glass version of Steeljaw they did, because apparently, like, that's the really weird one to transform, and I still don't like transforming it. But nice that these are coming out again. Might pick up one. These are usually like a little bit more expensive than I'd like to pay for something like this. Like this kind of falls under a novelty of like, I kind of wish this was a little bit cheaper. I think they are a cool idea though. And I'm glad to see that they are still doing them. Okay. Infinite Finish. No, Ocular Max. New graphic designer. These look terrible. My God, I can't believe this. I can't. We're getting... Okay, so this is the Girl Tarn mold again. This is Girl Tarn again, but we're getting it now as Girl Vatron. It's Girl Vatron. They already redid it as a female version of Armada Megatron, and that was already weird enough, and now we have Girl Vatron, which admittedly doesn't look bad. I mean, it's weird, but it doesn't look bad. I remember I kind of wanted the female Tarn because it just looked like a fun figure, and then I passed on it. I passed on it, passed on the Armada Megatron. This is again one of those like, every now and then third-party stuff goes on sale. Maybe I'll catch it then. Maybe Girl Vatron doesn't have quite enough demand to justify it, to make it all. Who knows? Who knows? It's a weird one. It's a weird one. I don't mind it. It's a weird idea. It's like the kind of nonsense I wish third-party would embrace a little bit more often. Speaking of which... So apparently, logo I can't read. Infinity? Okay, because I know someone's going to scream it at the comments. I'm giving it that one more shot. That's still a dumb name and it's still a terrible looking logo. Stop doing that. But the cool thing here, like, this is again, the kind of just like really stupid design idea that I can actually get behind because it's hysterical. It's Drift, but it's done as the car from Initial D. Because drifting. My friend Minerva had a gag on her streams that involved the Initial D car, and like I keep sending her like the photo updates of these because like this is something that shouldn't exist, but it's funny. And then they're doing actual drift color version too, which is nice to see that that's included as well, if you need something that's a little bit more familiar. Oh, but yeah, that's a good way to end it off, because what are you going to do to top that? I'm not big on Initial D, and even I kind of want that for the meme of it. Like, you made a meme transform. That's kind of amazing. So, there you go. There is the third-party slides for TFcon Toronto 2024. A little bit thinner than some of the offerings I've seen. I've seen some of these, we've gone on like an hour talking about them before. And we still have Devastators just like polluting these. But at least some are doing different things now. And it's not just, I can do it better, so buy another set of these, please. But there you go. There's a couple of interesting things in there. Nothing that immediately makes me go, woo, gotta grab, gotta pre-order today. Except for the clench. The clench is on a short list. If there's any left after the convention, I want that clench. I'm sorry, clutch. Beyond that, it's mostly the ones that I can sit back and just admire from afar. But who knows? Tell me the ones in the comment section. Tell me the ones that you are eager to see, because I'm sure one of these leaped at somebody out there. So, thank you very much for watching. We'll get back to you in another 4 months when another TFcon happens, and I can talk about third-party stuff again. But until then, thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time.